Hello there. It is the year 3000 something. We stopped keeping track after all religions died out. It seemed less important anyway to keep track of what year it was, especially after someone didn't die. So we don't exactly know. I know I'm breaking the fourth wall, but it's important, and I know exposition is usually pretty boring, but I promise there will be some pretty pictures and videos to help keep you entertained. Yes, so I am Vicki Cythemore. But if you're from the past, I have some pretty sad information for you. Oh, you are? Well, I guess I should be the one to tell you this. The Vicki Cythemore you know and love has perished, but not before she was able to help save humanity. How does she do that? Well, there was a virus that was taking out all humans. No, not a zombie virus, although that would have been interesting and possibly not as destructive. But so it was a virus that was killing humans specifically. Vicki worked with the Vampire High Council, the Vitins, to come up with a vaccine, Vicmore. The problem with the vaccine was, well, it would turn you into a vampire, so it would cure the virus, but also turn you, which is exactly the opposite of what Vicki wanted. She wanted to preserve human life for the sake of humans and vampires alike. But that just didn't work out so well. So, oh yeah, this is going to get confusing really fast, isn't it? Since her name is Vicki and I'm Vicki, so let's just call her Mother Vicki. Does that work? Okay, good. I really don't have a lot of time to explain all this to you, so every second counts if I want you to be able to understand this. So, Mother Vicki worked to try to get vampires and humans to coexist. She really cared about everyone's coexistence and survival. Actually, all beings for that matter. Oh, you already know this? Well, fantastic. Okay, so as the years went on, she worked on this harder and harder and on a more global scale. And she really advocated that vampires and humans can coexist, with food source for vampires becoming increasingly scarce because humans were dying out. It didn't take long for Vicki to get the Vitins on her side. Yes, she worked with them very closely, but she never took a role on the Vampire High Council herself. She always said that her place was among her people, all manners of creatures and beings, and she worked hard to create a safe space for them. Yes, now since the vaccine would cure the virus, but also turn you into a vampire and prevent the virus, they created an antidote that would cure your vampirism. So you were given both at birth, and anyone that was left alive was given both to preserve the rest of the population. No. Being a vampire in my time, your future, that's actually quite common or well known. Yes, so what happens is that it's actually quite of a process. What the hell? So what you do is you have to get a sponsor. Yes, a vampire sponsor who will approve you for being turned. But your sponsor can't just be any vampire. They have to be someone that's approved by the Vitins. Yes, the Vampire High Council. Then you go to the Vampire Medicorps and you go through the whole process to be turned. Oh yeah, You can also go to the Vampire Medicore to be a human donor if you so choose. Actually, all manner of creatures and beings, humans, vampires, werewolves, demons, can go to the Vampire Medicore to seek medical attention if necessary. Yes, if you did want to be a donor, that is something that you could do there. Now, if you're a vampire, you can go there yourself and receive a reasonable amount of blood in a controlled setting so that you can stay satiated and not starve. Yes, as I'm saying this, I bet you could imagine that there are vampires that did not like this new system, keeping humans alive, not killing them just because or for the fun of it or to feed. Yeah. There will always be vampires, new and old, that always liked feeding and will always like feeding on humans and killing for the fun of it, wasting human lives for the sake of humans and vampires alike. And then there's the whole underworld, yes, where you can go to sell your blood, to pay the bills. You can find pretty much anything you would want, any manner of thing. And also so that you could be fed upon to get the vampire high, known as bloodletting. Yes, when you're fed on by a live vampire, it makes you go into this euphoric state of pure happiness and bliss. Some are quite addicted to bloodletting. And then you could find anything you would want to do or have done to you down there as well. Stay focused, please. I beg of you. We really need to get through all of this information, and explaining the underworld to you would take way too much time. Okay, good. So, Vicki put together a team, a coven of beings to help her keep the code in place of preserving human life. They were really good, and I mean really good at doing this until she met her end. No, it's too painful and too soon after you finding out that your beloved has perished. Okay, fine, really? Are you sure? We could get to it at another date? Alright. Well, as you see, it was an accident. Vicki burned alive in the lab one night. She must have mixed the wrong things together and then boom. Yes, as you may or may not know, vampires can be killed by fire, by a stake, by beheading, by dismemberment, pretty much things that would kill a human, actually. No, as you already know, I would assume, Mother Vicki was a daywalker. Sun doesn't kill vampires, but it can weaken young and new ones, and so can silver. Vampire hunters was a whole other problem that Vicki had to deal with. Yeah, they were really a thorn in Mother Vicki's side. They couldn't see reason from any angle. They just wanted to rid the world of abominations, which is any being that was not human. Yes. So where do I come in? See, now you've got me off track. Well, I was born a few years ago. I really need to tell you this information. Okay, so one year, a babe was born, and a vampire medicore nurse went to administer the vaccine and the antidote, as I had explained. She administered one of them to the babe, but she didn't realize that it was infected vampire blood. She quickly administered the vaccine and the antidote, thinking that no one would notice. But the infected vampiric blood the antidote, and the vaccine all fought together in the tiny baby's body. They had adhered to her DNA, transforming her with extreme vampiric powers. She thought no one would notice. The nurse thought no one would know what she had done, the accident that she had created. So she gave the babe back to her parents. Unknowingly to her, the babe was infected with Vicki's blood. Mother Vicki's infected blood straight from the source. So over the next week, the babe rapidly grew to the age of 26. Yes, Mother Vicki, as you might know, was turned in ancient Egypt at the age of 26. So now I will be eternally 26. The rapid aging is not one I recommend, by the way. Vastly growing with thoughts, memories, personality traits, all the while thinking that I was Vicki, Mother Vicki. Yes, let's just say that I have had quite the identity crisis. It gets a little confusing sometimes, so I understand if you're also having a hard time following. But once I had reached my full age, I was contacted by someone high on the Vampire Council. Yes, the Vitans. They contacted me because they wanted me to replace Mother Vicki, take up her mantle at the Coven, and keep her codes alive. Yes, the only difference between Vicki and I, Mother Vicki, is that I have one blue eye and one green, showing the two halves that make me whole. Oh yes, the Vampire High Council. Well, they needed the group to work against the rebels that have really gained momentum after Vicki perished. And since I feel I am Vicki, I agreed. Well, at least the flashbacks would have me believing that I'm her. Why not, though? Why not work against those that would work against us and lead to the end of time as we know it? Well, I'm a work in progress. It doesn't help that my parents named me Vicki Cythemore, after the great vampire savior. Yes. But I only took up this post about a year ago, and there is so much more work still to be done. Yes, I have all of Vicki's thoughts, personality traits, memories, up until the newest vaccine was created. That's when her blood was taken. And since she perished quite quickly after the newest vaccine was made, I have all of her memories up until then. Well, to be honest, I don't think I would like memories of being burned alive. But that's just me. That's why it is my sole purpose to keep Vicki's wishes and ideals alive. Yes. Well, when Vicki met her demise, Mother Vicki, the Coven fell apart. I'm here, still picking up the pieces, trying to keep everyone together, trying to convince them that keeping Vicki's codes alive, to keep the survival of humanity alive, was important. It's important for the entire sake of the city. Yes, city. Count them. 1. Did you miss the part where I told you that humanity was on the brink of extinction? We have one city left, which means it wasn't easy for all the vampire rebels to start taking over, create a vast underworld of bosses and factions and clans that all work against Vicki's codes. There's so much work to be done. Oh, the coven? What do we call ourselves? Oh. Well, in this our here city of Olympus, we are Vicki's knights, the darklings.